So, Act 3, first and foremost, a couple of things come to mind, right? Some words like climax, ending, finale. Picture audiences giving a standing ovation, wiping tears off their cheeks, throwing their heads back and laughing. And really, what all of those things are is just how you leave your audience feeling. That's really the core of an ending. And it's through this feeling that you can communicate the theme of your story. I'm going to get specific here and mention the word catharsis because, well, here's the definition. It's the process of releasing and thereby providing relief from strong or repressed emotions. And we're using the fundamental tools, setup and payoff here, and I'll get into that more. This is just one way to do things. If you find a better way, you should do it. This is what I would consider to be like typical Western story fundamentals, but don't limit yourself, go crazy. All right, so this might look familiar. It almost looks like a lifeline kind of thing, but what it is it's kind of a general story arc. So we could slap our story spline on there. We have Act 1, it starts pretty calm. Then the inciting incident happens and we start to face some obstacles, some ups and downs, and then we hit low point at the end of Act 2, and at the beginning of Act 3, we hit the highest emotional point in our story, that's our climax, and then we kind of chill out into our denouement. And at the bottom, I've highlighted the moral of the story is being all of Act 3, because again, we're communicating the theme through the feelings that we achieve with our audience. And this whole thing can be simplified into just Act 1 and 2 is your setup, Act 3 is your payoff. So we're going to focus on this little border between Act 2 and Act 3 right here. This is like the turning point, right? So we start with the low point and we contrast it with the high point. This is how we know this is the most important part of the story, is we use contrast to punctuate it. So at the low point, this is our most negative emotion in the story. And of course, it's contrasted with the highest point, which is the most positive emotion. And usually these are opposites. So here's some examples. Like if your character throughout your story is feeling lost, by Act 3, let's have them feel found. If they feel alone, they feel togetherness by the end. If at the beginning they feel weak, now they feel strong. It seems pretty simple. In fact, it's deceptively simple, and some might say even predictable. But don't worry, because here comes the hard part. So we're going to zoom into our little low point here, and we're going to tell the story from our character's perspective. So here comes your main character. They've just got the crap kicked out of them by Act 2. When they look up at Act 3 ahead of them, it should feel impossible. Like you, the storyteller, should be able to convince us, the audience, that even though when you zoom out, theoretically your story is very simple, from the character's perspective, it feels impossible. And so you ask yourself, how the heck are we going to get up there? So here are 3 things to keep in mind. First, use what you've set up. This is Act 3. This is not the time to introduce new ideas. You want everything to relate to the story that you've been telling this whole time, right? Number 2, make yourself an audience member. Storytelling is so deeply about gauging your audience's expectations. And so it helps to put yourself in the audience's shoes, and also ask yourself, right, because you love stories, what do you want to see? Like, what would satisfy you? And 3, when you're in doubt, just let the character take the wheel. Like, that's why we develop such rich characters, is because we get lazy around Act 3. And you need them to carry you through. I mean, that's why we watch movies, that's why we read books. We love characters, right? And actually, I lied, it's 4 things. And the 4th thing is do the thing that makes you feel something. If you have pinned everything down, you have a clear setup and a payoff, and you still don't feel anything, well, something's wrong, right? Because stories are all about emotion. So, you know, if your character uses their unique skills and finds their way to the top, you could really earn a really lovely climax.